Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a Muichiro listener by me. So let's get into it. The sun had long since dipped below the horizon, leaving the sky a blanket of navy blue, dotted with faint stars. The chirping of crickets echoed softly through the trees, and a gentle breeze carried the scent of pine. The only light came from the lantern glowing softly in his study. You sighed as you made your way down the dimly lit hallway. Muichiro had been working tirelessly for days, tending to his duties as a Hashira with unwavering dedication. Every time you suggested he take a break, he would just brush it off with that distant, yet gentle smile of his. But tonight, you'd put a stop to this. You had to. Pushing the door open, you were greeted by the sight of him, hunched over the low wooden table, papers scattered around him. His sword leaned against the wall within reach, a reminder of the ever-present dangers that awaited him. Waitra's expression was calm, though the dark circles beneath his pale eyes told a different story. Waitra? You called softly, stepping into the room. His head lifted at the sound of your voice, his misty gaze meeting yours. Oh, you're still awake? I could say the same to you. You knelt beside him, your fingers brushing lightly against his hand. You've been at this all day. You need to rest. I'm fine, really, he replied, though his voice lacked its usual strength. There's still so much to do. The reports from the last mission, the new patrols. None of that will matter if you collapse. You can't keep going like this. You interrupted, squeezing his hand gently. Waiter, please. He blinked, clearly surprised by the concern lacing your voice. You really pushed him like this, but the worry in your eyes was undeniable. I don't want to see you like this. You're not a machine. You're human and you need rest. He whispered, brushing a strand of dark hair away from her face. Muichiro opened his mouth to protest, but the exhaustion in his body betrayed him. He sighed, the tension in his shoulders loosening as he finally relented. All right, just for a little while, he murmured, defeated by your eyes alone. A small smile tugged at your lips as you stood. And so, you led him to your shared room. And Muichiro sat down, his movements sluggish, as the weight of fatigue finally began to settle in, weighing him down. You knelt behind him, gently pulling him against your chest, your arms wrapping securely around his waist. You're incredibly stubborn, you know that? He whispered, resting your chin on his shoulder. I could say the same about you, he murmured, though his words held no malice. Instead, there was a quiet fondness. You chuckled softly, pressing a lingering kiss to his temple. Maybe, but I only push because I care. We two relaxed further in your embrace, his head leaning against yours. The steady rhythm of his breathing began to slow, the warmth of your presence coaxing away the last remnants of his resistance. You always know how to calm me, he admitted, his voice quiet. That's because I love you, and I know you. You replied without hesitation, your fingers tracing soothing patterns along his back. He shifted slightly, turning to meet your gaze. Even in the dim light, the tenderness in his eyes was undeniable. And I love you, more than I ever thought possible. You cupped his face gently, brushing your thumb along his cheek. Then let me take care of you. Just this once. I'm sure it won't be too hard. He smiled, blushing a little bit, and after some hesitation, he nodded, his expression soft. "You may." And without one more word from you, he guided him to lie down, pulling the blankets over the two of you. After all, nothing would be more persuasive than the two of you actually resting, and you wouldn't mind the rest. It was getting quite late for the both of you. Muichiro curled into your side, his arm draped loosely over your waist. As his breathing grew steady, you ran your fingers down his hair, each stroke drawing him closer to the peaceful slumber that his body so desperately needed. The sleep that he had been avoiding to make sure he could work so others could rest. But right now, it was totally his turn to do so. After all that hard work, he had earned it. And for a moment, there was only silence. The sound of his heartbeat beneath your hand, the warmth of his skin against yours, the burdens that he carried, the weight of his title, of the people that he had to protect. All of that seemed to melt away in the safety of your embrace. It was so easy to forget about the things that he had to do, when all he had to focus on was the feeling of being in your arms, of being loved, and knowing that he was safe, that he wouldn't have to worry, that for now, he could put those thoughts in his mind to rest. "You're not alone, Muichiro," he whispered, your lips brushing against his forehead. "And you never will be." He stirred slightly, his hold on you tightening, as a content sigh escaped him. "I know, because I have you." And with that, the two of you drifted off, tangled in the other's warm embrace. A quiet promise between the two of you that no matter what challenges lay ahead, you would face them together, and neither of you would ever have to be alone, no matter what stands in your way.